I've been broke before and I know exactly what it feels like to be broke. I also personally do know a lot of people who have been broke before and they have gotten out of brokenness. I mean, currently I'm not broke, yeah? But a few years back, I was broke. I was terribly broke. I was struggling to get something to eat. Now, I've come up with 4 steps that I personally believe can get you out of being broke to actually getting rich, to becoming a millionaire, to becoming someone that everyone else would desire to be like. I mean, a lot of people all over the world admire to be like me. And a lot of times I look at myself and I think to myself, whoa, this is really crazy, because just a while back, I was in this really terrible position that I honestly didn't want to be in, and I can imagine no one would have desired to be like me. But currently, I'm in a desirable position. Now, I want to tell you that I didn't come from a well-to-do family. In fact, I didn't come from an average family. I came from a poor family. Poor. It's not something I'm proud of, but it's honestly the truth. I came from a poor family, and I've managed to get myself out of that position. I came from a family where we did struggle. I mean, just going to school was a problem, yeah? God helped me that, first of all, I was intelligent, but number 2, he blessed me with a lot of people who came along the way, and these guys were able, to pay for my tuition and things like that. So I was able to go to school, and just like that, I've been able to develop, become eloquent, the way you can hear me speaking, be able to teach you guys. But in terms of my background, I wasn't privileged. Now, these are 4 things or 4 important steps that I've personally implemented. I haven't read them in books, I haven't studied them from places, but I've personally implemented in my life, and I know that they work, yeah? They would work in your life if you implement them. They would work in anyone's life if this person implemented them, because if they worked for me, then they can work for you. So we're going to dive right into them, and if you take them at heart, they will work for you. Trust me. So the first step is to decide to have a plan, yeah? Have a plan. In fact, not just have a plan, but decide. This is the most important thing, yeah? Decide to have a plan. Very important. Now, in life, we only have 2 options, yeah? The 2 options is, number 1, have a plan, and the second one is to have no plan, yeah? The second alternative is to have no plan. Now, I do know a lot of people who actually have no plan in their lives. In fact, the majority of people on earth live without a plan. And I'm not surprised that the biggest percentage of people on earth are usually average. Yeah? Usually, a lot of people believe in fate. They believe that whatsoever will be, will be. I'm not the kind of person who believes in fate. I don't believe that whatever will be, will be. You see, if you believe in fate, if you believe that, some things are meant to happen to you and some things are not meant to happen to you, first of all, that's, fundamentally wrong. Yeah, it's fundamentally wrong. There are truths, and then there are things that we can believe and they're not true. Yeah, the honest truth is that it's fundamentally wrong that life just happens to us. Yeah, because in all reality, we have control over what happens in our life. Have you ever thought about it? If you did believe that whatever will be, well, how about you just lie there and not eat food? Maybe someday food will show up in your mouth, yeah? Maybe you just go across the road and you just walk randomly. Maybe the people who are driving cars might see you. Maybe they might not see you. Well, whatever will be, yeah? If you believe in fate and you believe that whatsoever will be, then you're going to have completely zero control over your life. You've got to place your fate in your hands. Now, a lot of people, when they hear me say this and they're like, well, place your fate in your hands, they believe, I'm this kind of person who believes in absolute human control. I do understand that a lot of things can happen to your life and they are completely out of your control. I mean, 2 people could be born in rich families. Yeah, 2 people born in rich families. One of them could decide to all blow it. I mean, they decide because they have been born in a rich family, they have a lot of money, so they decide to spend all the money, they get drunk, they decide to, take drugs, they blow all the money, and, in a few years also, they could have nothing. I mean, you could have $1 million and you could easily blow each and every one of those dollars in a few years. And then you could have another person who is given the same exact amount of money and they grow it. Yeah. Now, if it was fate, then they wouldn't have 2 different results. Yeah. Just due to the fact that the 2 of them have had completely different results simply shows and proves the fact that, well, we make our own fate. Everything is in your control. One has decided to go down the path of, getting addicted to drugs, getting addicted to alcohol, and having nothing left in their life. Another one has decided to go, the path of multiplying what they have been given. So yes, maybe you're not in control of where you end up in terms of, I was born in a rich family or a poor family, but you're in absolute control of what turns out to happen in your life. So a lot of people, when they hear me saying that, they believe that probably I don't believe in God, because they say, God has our future. He controls our future. He has everything in our lives. And I personally do believe that. Meanwhile, I'm actually a Christian, yeah, and I believe in God, yeah. And by the way, I'm a serious Christian. I really do believe in God. And even when I do read the Bible tells us that God has placed before us life and death, and then he tells us to choose life. He doesn't choose for us life. I mean, it would be a no-brainer, yeah? I can imagine God would be like, hey, I'll force you to take life. But even then he tells you, choose life. He doesn't choose for you life. He just gives you advice. Hey, come on, choose life, yeah? So if that's it, then that means that we do have a role to play and a decision to play in what turns out to happen in our life. So you either decide to have a plan or have no plan. It's completely in your control, yeah? And I advise you that you do have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you could end up in something good. That's the honest truth. Like I've said, a lot of people don't have plans and they just live their life like that. Now, something good could happen to you, but even when something good happens to you, you don't know what to do with whatever has been provided to you. You don't know what to do with the money you've got. You don't know what to do with the opportunity you've got. You just don't know what to do with it because you have no plan. And so you could get $1 million in your pocket because you have no plan. I mean, you've just been living your life. You've been working as a good worker at your work. You know, you show up, you're a really good worker. And then, you know, because of that, you get promoted. And just like that, you're in a really good position where you're getting a lot of money, but you have no plan. You could easily lose it because, again, you're just leaving everything up to fate, yeah? If fate decides to take you the wrong direction, you'll continue that way. So it's very, very important that you do have a plan. Decide to have a plan. In the end, the most important thing is this, yeah? The decision. Decide to have a plan. That's the first thing. Now, the second step is you've got to get back to the drawing board. Yes, yeah? Get back to the drawing board and make a plan. Okay? You've got to get back to the drawing board and make a plan. Now, at this point in your life, you're in a position where, number one, you're either really broke, you don't have any money, you're broke. You're probably living off, I don't know, maybe the government, the ones providing you with food, living off your family, or I don't know, you don't have any job, you probably don't have meals, you're skipping meals and all that kind of stuff, yeah? And it's understandable that you're in that position. I want you to understand that it's of your own making. Maybe it's not of your own making, maybe you lost a parent or you lost someone, but it's either of your own making or not of your own making. What we want to control right here is our future, not our past, not our current position. We want to control our future. We don't care what happened in the past. The most important thing is that we are where we are right now. So it could be one of three options. Number one, you're completely broke. Number two, you're working somewhere and you're getting some money, but you don't like the kind of job you're doing. I mean, it's not sustainable. You're not in a place where you're doing something that can get you to the top, because in the end, if you're doing work that you don't love and you're doing something that's not sustainable, you can't become a millionaire that way. Because, I mean, for you to become a millionaire, for you to become really rich, you need to do something for some time. And if something is not sustainable, you're just not going to keep up with it. You're going to get heartbroken. Your mind is going to get broken. You're going to get stressed. You're going to end up giving up, yeah? So, secondly, you're in that position. Or the third one, you're actually probably running a business and you're doing some work, but it has failed to grow. It has stagnated, yeah? That's the position that you're at. Now you need to get back to the drawing board. And when you get back to the drawing board, the most important thing you need to consider is your beliefs. You've got to change your beliefs, yeah? This is what changes everything about your life. You've got to change your beliefs. And the biggest belief you're going to have to change in your life is about school. Yeah? A lot of us don't understand the impact that school did have on our lives and our brains. Now, school in itself is not a problem. Yeah? School in itself is not a problem because, I mean, I wouldn't be speaking to you if I didn't go to school. I wouldn't be eloquent enough to speak to you. I probably wouldn't have the courage and the strength to stand in front of a lot of people if I didn't go to school. I wouldn't get the thought pattern that I personally currently have if I didn't go to school, yeah? So school in itself is a good thing, I mean, principally, yeah? But the biggest problem is what we were taught in school, yeah? Now, what we were taught in school is that school decides your life. That's what we were taught in school. That school decides your life. And therein is the biggest mistake. Yeah? If you personally believe that whatever you're going to be in life, your complete nature, everything you're going to achieve is going to be based upon what you learned in school, then you're not gonna. Yeah? You've got to change that belief. Yeah? You've got to change that belief. You've got to change it completely and understand that your life can be something different from what school principally taught you. And in all honesty, the reason a lot of people think like that is not because, I mean, school in itself is a problem. I personally, when I was in my A level, you know, in high school, I was taught by a teacher who completely changed my thought of school. He told me that the purpose of school is to train you to learn. In fact, I mean, it was in a very hard physics class. We were in this physics class and, you know, everyone was getting really terrible marks, really terrible marks. And he told us, hey guys, you think you've started to learn? Well, you haven't started to learn. I'm just preparing you to start learning. And you know, I thought about it. My friends probably didn't think about it. A lot of my colleagues didn't think about it, you know, deeply. But I thought about it so deeply. And I was thinking to myself, what does it mean? He's preparing us to start learning. I mean, that means all these physics questions, all these mechanics questions, all these questions about light don't matter. I mean, they really don't matter. What does he mean? And when I thought about it deeply, that's when I understood that actually the whole purpose of school is to train us to learn. Yeah, I personally studied to be a doctor. When I went to medical school, you know, I studied to become a doctor. But when I left medical school, I started doing farming. Yeah, and because I had trained my mind to learn, it became really easy for me to learn anything. I mean, I've learned how to edit videos. I've learned how to play the guitar. I've learned how to, you know, look after chickens. I've learned how to do a lot of things. Why? Because I trained my mind to learn. My mind is open to learning and I understand that I can learn anything. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose of school. Unfortunately, a lot of people take it the other way around. They think that school is supposed to train you on the things that you're actually studying in school. So if you went to school and studied mechanics, then probably you're supposed to become, you know, an engineer or something like that. Yeah, if you went to school and studied medicine, then you must be a doctor. Therein is the mistake. So then, if you understand that school in itself is the problem and our beliefs about school, actually school is not the problem, but our beliefs about school are the problem, then the first thing you'll understand is that one, you can make money, yeah, you can make money and a life outside school. Yeah, you can make money and you can make an actual life outside the things that you studied in school. The second thing you will understand is that your friends, yeah, your friends do not define life. Because a lot of your friends and the people who, you know, you're living close to are living their lives based on the standard of what school taught them. And for us, for a lot of people, we do believe that our friends, you know, push us in the direction that we go to. If I'm trying to do something and my friends don't acknowledge of it, I'll feel bad. I'll feel terrible, yeah? If I'm trying to do something and society does not acknowledge it, I'll feel terrible. But don't forget that society is based off school, yeah? Society is based off school. Unfortunately, what they are based off is wrong. School in itself is not a problem, but what they are imagining and what they learned from school is completely wrong. And so we let them determine what our lives will be, yet in principle, what they are based off and the standard they are based off is completely wrong. And then number three, the third thing you need to learn is that you'll be fine, yeah? You'll be fine learning and working in any field to make money. Yeah, of course, based off these top two. Yeah, if you understand that you can make money from anywhere, and number two, your friends or the society doesn't matter, then it will settle in your mind that you will actually be fine and it won't be a problem for you to actually make money from any field. For me, for example, I have no problem making money from YouTube, training you guys, you know, to do videos, despite the fact that I didn't study anything to do with YouTube. I have no problem making money from farming, and I have no problem not making money from being a doctor. I really don't care, yeah? A lot of people ask me the question that, hey, Dr. Daniel, do you think you'll ever go back to practicing medicine? I always tell them that, hey guys, no. I don't think I'm ever going to go back to practicing medicine. I'm fine with that, and it has settled in my heart. Now, the third step is make money. Now, this is the first proper actionable step, yeah? You've got to make money. I mean, I wouldn't say make money, but make some money, okay? Because at this point, I mean, you're just starting out. You can't make too much money, but you've got to make some money. It's very important. You need to remember that money is a tool, yeah? Money is a tool. Without money, it's difficult to go ahead. I mean, I personally find a lot of people along the way, I mean, on X, on YouTube, physically, people who keep asking me that, hey, doctor, I have this proper plan, or, you know, I have this thing that I've personally planned. I have everything. I've got the skills and everything, but I don't have money. How do I start without money? I'll tell them, hey, guy, go and make money. Yeah, go and make money. Money is the most important tool that you will ever need. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like you can't start and get stuff done without money, but money is the principal tool that you're going to utilize to grow and go forward, as you're going to see in step number 4, yeah? But it is very, very important that you make money. Now, what is the easiest way to make money? Get a job, yeah? I personally do believe in getting jobs, yeah? Now, if you're already in a position where you do have a job or you don't need a job and you're already making money, yeah? You're already making money, then point number 3 is something that you can skip. You'll go directly to number 4. But if you're in a position where you're not making money or you're doing something that doesn't bring you any sensible money at all, then you've got to get out of it and go look for a job and get money out of a job. Now, why do I believe in jobs as sources of money? First of all, they are quick. They are the quickest and the easiest way of making money. I mean, if right now you're in a position where you're broke and you currently don't have money, I can assure you that if you start looking for a job, in 1 month you'll have a job. In 1 month you'll have a job and you'll immediately start making money. In fact, forget about 1 month. In 1 week or even in 1 day, you could go step outside there and actually look for a job. Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't get jobs, and you'll hear it very commonly all around the world that, there is no jobs in the world. People are looking for jobs and there are no jobs, and that's true. But it's the people who don't really want it that bad who fail to get jobs. Yeah. I personally, when I got out and I was, looking for a job as a doctor, I remember going for an interview somewhere as a doctor, and while we were in the lounge waiting to get in for the interview, there was this guy who I overheard speaking, telling a friend, I was like, man, at this point, I've done too many job interviews. I don't think I prepare for job interviews anymore. I've done like 6 or 7 job interviews and they haven't called me for any of them. So right now, I'm in a position where I don't prepare. I just go outside there. And I was thinking to myself, there is no way this guy is going to get his job because, he really doesn't care. He doesn't want it that badly. And when he gets in and he's answering the questions, he won't answer them that well. Yeah. Now, that was my very first interview and I got the job. Why? Because I wanted it badly. I prepared for it and I wanted it that badly. So if you do want the job, you will get it. Step outside there, walk on the streets. Don't segregate between jobs, yeah? As long as you have the skill set and the ability and the strength to actually do what is required of you, go do it. If it requires you to do a cleaning job, go and do a cleaning job. It's the beginning for you to actually have money that you're going to utilize. So you need to make sure that you get a job. And first thing is that it's quick. But number 2, it trains you on job principles. Yeah, for me, for example, when I started working as a doctor, in my job as a doctor, I learned a lot of skills that I'm currently utilizing in my business. Yeah, I learned skills on, reporting, skills on, accounting, skills on taking stock, skills on, communicating with my subordinates, with my seniors. All those are things that you're going to learn from your job that you probably would never have learned anywhere because someone else has set them in place, yeah? When someone else employs you, they have set in place those things. And a lot of people, when they go into jobs, they don't go into jobs with the mindset of, hey, these are things that are actually going to be very beneficial for me, yeah? They probably just do reporting without caring to actually learn and understand the skill of reporting. If it is accounting and accounting for the stuff you're using, they don't go into it with the mindset of, hey, let me learn this skill as well as possible so that, in the future, when I personally probably do have my business, I know how to go through the entire process, yeah? So jobs are very good at training you with these basic principles that you're going to utilize later on when you're doing your own stuff. But number 3, jobs train you on how to deal with workers because you've been in the same exact position. You know what it feels like to have a bad boss. You know what it feels like to have a good boss. You know what it feels like for someone to not send you a report, and you know what it feels like for someone to send you a report. You're best positioned to be, at that place where you can give proper instruction, where you can feel empathy. If a worker comes to you and they tell you that, they have lost someone, they have lost maybe a mother or they have lost a child and they need to go and attend to them, you won't be so strict about them not going away. I've been in places where, you see a boss and an employee comes over, they are telling them the position they're in, and this guy totally just doesn't want to understand. That's someone who hasn't been in a job before. They totally don't understand, yeah? So this thing of being in a job places you in a great position where you can easily develop empathy, and these are traits and characteristics of a good leader. Yeah? They're going to help you so much when you go forward in your position. So yes, this was point number 3. Make some money, and the best way is to do it through a job. That's of course if you don't have a job. And then finally, step number 4 is start a business. Yes. Start a business. Now you're telling me, must it be a business? Yes, it must be a business, nothing else. Yeah? Why a business? Because number 1, you're in absolute control. When you're in a business, if you start your own business, you're fully in control of your own business. You control how quickly it grows and how slowly it grows. You control the results, you control the experience of the customers, you control what you get out of it. Now, there are a lot of other things you can invest in. You can invest in bonds, you can invest in stock, you can invest in real estate, you can invest in a lot of things, yeah? But all those things don't have as much control as your business, yeah? So number one, you're in absolute control if you do invest in a business. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it can be scaled, yeah? Businesses can be scaled and you can scale them to crazy numbers. For me personally, when I did start out, for example, with my poultry farm, I started with 800 chickens. Right now, I've raised over 100,000 chickens on the farms, yeah? Right now, the farms are great, but I started with a small thing, yeah? So businesses can be scaled, they can become really big. So that's the second thing, yeah? Businesses can be scaled. But number three, businesses grow fast, yeah? Businesses grow really fast. It's not like any other thing. I mean, again, they can be slow, they can fail, but they grow really fast. Compared to all the other things that you can do to make money, nothing has the potential to grow fast as well as a business. So that's why I'm 100% pro businesses. Now, of course, it does have its risks. Yeah? What are the risks? Number one, you can lose it all. True. You can lose it all. Now, of course, there are things that you can do and implement to minimize the risk of losing it all in a business. What are some of these things? I mean, I've talked about them multiple times. In fact, you need to watch a video. I'll link that video in the description below. And that video is about how to start a business that cannot fail. In fact, I'll even link it at the end of this video. Yeah? How to start a business that cannot fail. That's such an important video. Once you watch that video, you'll understand, the tactics and the things you need to implement to minimize the chances of your business failing. But yeah, all businesses can fail and the risk is always there, but you can minimize the risk. So you need to make sure that you minimize the risk and increase your chances of failing. But number two, you could say that, well, not everyone is cut out for business. Maybe I'm not cut out for business. And it has a bit of truth to it, but it's not the whole truth. It's not the absolute truth. Anyone can learn to do business. There is nothing in business that's not learnable. I mean, if you went to school and you learned physics, you went to school and you learned science, you learned geography, you learned mathematics, you learned to calculate, then you can learn how to run a business, yeah? Now, I understand that it might not come as naturally for you as it might come for me or for someone else. For some people, it's easier than others. But, I mean, we're talking about becoming a millionaire over here. Who said that it's going to become easy? Yeah, who said it will come easy for you? No, you need to put in some effort, you need to put in some work, yeah? It might come quite easy for someone else, but not easy for you. You need to understand the goal, and our goal here is to be a millionaire, and you've got to put in effort towards it. Now, the thing that you need to understand is that these skills, especially in business, when you do learn them and they become part of you, then they are part of you forever. I mean, of course, there's experiences and learning and continuous changing in the entire field, but these are skills that are going to remain with you forever. So you've got to put in the effort and learn the business skills, yeah? It might not be inborn, it might not be natural part of you, but you can learn. And a critical thing is that you must not have a plan B. Now, I know this is the craziest thing you've heard from me all day, but as soon as you start having plan Bs, you've already started planning to fail. Planning for a plan B is a plan of failure. What that means is that every time you're doing something, you'll always have a fallback to. And that means that you don't give it your all. You don't give it your best efforts, yeah? You can make it the first route through, but even if you don't make it your first route through, you gave it your very best. If you have no plan B, then you know that you gave it your very best and now you'll go for the next option, which will also be another plan A, not another plan B, and you'll give it your very best. Yeah. So every time you only have a plan A and never consider a plan B, it increases your chances of success. It increases your chances of thriving. It increases your chances of being at the top. And when it does come to business, there are three main things. First of all, identify the right business. Yeah. You need to identify the right kind of industry. Now, this is not something I'm going to choose for you because it depends on a lot of factors. Yeah. It depends on your ability, your skill set, the things you've been trained in, the things where there are opportunities. I mean, all those things are going to determine which kind of business to start in. So you've got to identify the right business for where you are. Yeah. For me, for example, in Uganda, I could want to do real estate, but real estate in Uganda is crazy. I mean, I can't sell a house for $1 million. Well, I can, but those are very few. It's not like being in the US where you could sell a house of $1 million every month. In Uganda, the chances of that happening are very low. So, I mean, I could choose to do it, but I'd be quite crazy to do it. Yeah. So I need to identify something that's viable for the market where I am. So you need to study that and consider something that's viable for the market that you're in. Number two, once you've identified the industry, understand the kind of business that you're in. Yeah. Now, this is something that's quite subtle but very important. For me, for example, I'm in the poultry farming business. That's one of the things I do here in Uganda. But in reality, it's not the poultry farming business. I'm in the people management business. Yeah. The most important thing to do on a poultry farm for me in Uganda is understanding how to manage the managers and how to manage the workers. And if only I focus on that and do it well, everything else is going to align itself. So understand the kind of business that you're in. And number three, mold your business to be the kind of business that you want your customer that want. A lot of us, want particular types of customers. You want a customer who will pay well, you want a customer who is loyal, you want a customer who will give you good reviews. But have you considered making your business the kind of business that kind of customer would want? If you focus on that and drive your business in that way, build your business to be the kind of business that your target customer would want, then you'll have the best results when it does come to business. Yeah. So these 4 points, if you do focus on them and drive them down your throat, you're certainly going to be on the path to becoming a millionaire, and it's only inevitable. I mean, it's just a matter of time that you'll get here. So implement them and you'll get to the top. I'll leave a link to the video about how to build a business that can never fail right here, so check it out. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.